Hello, welcome back. This is a new fog of war Sudoku that I've made. It's a relatively easy one. It introduces you to a few new rules of cryptic Sudokus if you haven't done many before. The rules are normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells adjacent to a V add to 5. So there's a V there and a V there. So the cells adjacent, which means next to those two, have to add up to 5. Cells adjacent to an X, there's an X there and an X there, for example. These two cells would have to add to 10. Those two cells would have to add to 10. Those two would have to add to 10. The main thing to remember here, all possible X's and V's are shown. Now that's an important one because if, for example, down here you have a 6 and a 4 that are possible, if that is, you find out that's a 6 and there's no X there, then this one can't be a 4. So that lets you eliminate some things later on. And that's called a negative constraint because the negative also applies to these things. And the other rule is the numbers in circles are in the 4 surrounding cells. So there's another little number up in there that you can't see, and those 4 numbers have to be in these 4 cells around here. And there's a bit of one there, so that means there's an 8 either there, or there. Okay, so if you'd like to have a go at that yourself, click on the link in the description below. I think you'll find it's fairly easy, but maybe not if you haven't done many of them before. It's still a bit of fun. And I'll have a go at it and show you how to do it now. If you have a problem doing it yourself, you can pause the video now and come back to it later if you have any problems. Okay, but I'll go ahead and do it now. So these numbers have to be around here. I'll just start by putting in some numbers. That has to be a 1, 4 or a 2, 3 pair in there. That has to be a 1, 4 or a 2, 3 because they have to add up to 5. Now, because they have to add up to 10, that's got to be either a 6, 7, 8 or 9 because they add up to 10. Same thing, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, these two have to add up to 10. It could go either way, so we don't know which way the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 goes there. But what can we tell from that? We can certainly tell the 2 doesn't go there or there, so it has to go there or there. Now if the 2 went there, that would have to be an 8 to add up to 10. And we already know there's an 8 somewhere in here because of that circle with the 8 in it. So that means this one can't be a 2, 8 there, which means the only spot possible for a 2 is here. So we'll click on that, and if it's correct, it reveals the fog, which it did. So obviously that was correct. Now that we've got the 2, that has to add up to 5, so that has to be a 3. And that eliminates the 2, 3 up here, so those two have to add up to 5 being a 1, 4 pair. And now that means this one has to be either a 1, 9 or a 4, 6, so we can eliminate the 7, 8 from there. Oh yes, we can tell what I was going to say. We can't tell what it is yet, but we can because this circle here tells us there's no 6's in the circle. So that one has to be a 9. And that's a 1, and that's a 4. Okay, well, now around here, around this circle, so the 2, 7, I've got a 7 or an 8 has to go here then, don't we? So that can't be a 6, 9 there. Oops, sorry, can't be a 6, 9. So it has to be a 7, 8 there or there. Oh, it's got to be an 8 to go with that 2. So 2, because they have to add up to 10. So that's got to be the 8 there, and that's got to be the 7 there. And then that gives us a 7, 3 to add up to 10 there. And now around this one we need a 4, 2, 6 in these 3. Well, we can't have a 2 there, so the 2 has to go in there. Now if the 2 goes there, next to it we'd have to have an 8 to add up to 10, and that would give 2 8s in the same row, so we can't have that. Whoops, can't have that. So that means the 2 has to go in that spot. And that leaves a 4 and a 6 here and here. I don't know which way around they go just yet, but we do know they've got to add to 10, so that's got to be a 4 or a 6 to add up with those two to make 10. And now that's a 5. You can't have a 6 adding up to make 5, so that has to be the 4. That has to be the 6, and that's the 4, and then 4 and 1 makes 5. And now we can do this circle. We've got to have a 9, 7, 1 in here, or the 1 obviously can't go in this box because there's already a 1 in there, so the 1 has to go there. And that gives us a heap of 9s to go with the 1 to add up to 10. Oh, that one's got to be a 1. Oh, that revealed another one, that's got to be a 4. And now that one's got to be a 6. And we still haven't put in the 9, 7 here, so now the 9 can't go there, that's a 7, and that's the 9. That gave a whole heap of stuff. And this box here, just to finish it off, is missing a 5. And I'm not going to get these ones now. We've got, we can't have a 1, 3, 4 there, that's got to be a 2, and the 3 is the only other set to make 5 for that box. This one here, there's a 4, 1 pair already, so that's got to be a 2, 3 pair. We don't know which way it goes yet, so I'll just put it in like that. And there's a 2 down here, which means that one of these boxes has to have a 2 in it. Can't be in that row there because we've already got a 2 here, and it can't be here in this box. It's got to be that one. And that gives us a 3 there and a 7, adding to 3 for 10. Now we've got 4, 6, 8 has to go in here. The 4 can't go in that same box there, so the 4 has to go there. Leaves a 6 and an 8. We don't know where they go just yet. However, the 6 can't go next to the 4, or there would be an X there. So that has to be the 8, and that has to be the 6. And that was the negative constraint thing that I was talking about before. And also the 8 couldn't go there next to the 2, or there'd be an X there. What now? This V has to be 1, 2, 2, 4. That can't be. Could be a 3. The only thing that can go there is a 3. We've got a 1 there, so that has to be a 3, 2 pair. Now this one we've already used 1, 2, 3, so that's got to be a 4, 1 pair. This one up here, we've used 2, 3, which means that in there that can't be a 2 or a 3, it's got to be a 1 or a 4, which means that's a 1 or a 4, and that's a 1, so that has to be a 4, and that's a 1. And the 10s, I don't think we can tell what they are just yet. 9, 7, and you can't have a 9, 7 there, but you could have a, oh, you can't have a 9 because of the 1, you could have a 7 there and a 3 there though, or you could have an 8, 2 pair. You can't have a 6, 4 because of the 4. So that is either a 2, 8 pair or a 7, 3 pair, but only go, the 7, 3 pair only goes one particular way, which is that way. So that doesn't tell us what that is just yet, and I don't think this one will just yet either. I might need to find some other things first. What about this one? We can't have a 7, 3, we can't have a 6, 4 because of that, we can't have an 8, 2 because of that, so that's got to be a 9, 1 pair. And this then has to be what's left to go in this box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 left there. That doesn't, oh yes, that does give us something because you can't have a 4, 6 there, and you can't have a 4, 6 there. Oops, wrong one. Can't have a 4, 6 in that one, which means you've got a 5, 8 pair, so that one has to be the only spot for a 6 there. And in this row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the only number missing. Then down here in this box we're missing a 5 and a 9. The 9 can't go there, 9 has to go there, 5 there, which gives us this 1 and 9. Not too shabby. What goes in here now? 1, 2, 3, we need a 4. There's a 4, 4, so the 4 has to go there. 5 and a 7, 8, and they have to go around the opposite to those two. 7, 8. And left in this one, I'll just do this column here first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's missing a 6. And now we need a 1, 2, 3 and a 5 to go in there. I think, yes, the 1, 5 is missing there. So the 1 has to go there and the 5 has to go there. That row there now is missing an 8. And what's missing up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5 and a 6 it looks like. And the 6 can't go next to the 4, or there would be an X there. That's that negative constraint I was talking about. So that has to be a 5 and that has to be a 6. This has to be a 7, 8 pair. The 7 can't go next to the 3 or there'd be an X there. So that's a 7 and that's the 8. And now we can't have an 8, 2 there because we've got an 8. So that means I'll just put them in. That has to be the 7, 3 pair. What else we got? Oh, that resolves this one down here. Oh, we've got left in there 1, 2, 3. The 3 can't go there or there. The 3 has to go there. 4, 5 and an 8. The 8 would have to go there and the 5 would have to go there because there's an 8 down there already. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a 6, 7 in here. The 6 there, so it has to go there. 7 there. And now we need a 2. A 5 and a 9. I think I can tell where they go. I can get rid of a couple, but not all of them at this stage. There's no negative constraints that I can see there that wipe them out. I'll have to do a bit more up here. Oh, we can tell that one now. That's got to be a 9. Is the only one missing from that column? So that's a 1. It's missing here and here. 1, there's a 2 there and a 2 there. So the 2 has to go there. Just doing a bit of normal Sudokuing. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a 5. There's a 5 there. There's a 5 there. So the 5 goes there. 6. Ooh, don't even tell where the 6 and the 8 go now. I'll just have to put them in little numbers for now. Whoops. 6, 8. 6, 8. And we'll put these ones in. We've got a 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 missing there. It doesn't help because we didn't resolve the 2, 5, 9 down here. Does it? We can no negative constraints there. We have to use a different one. What goes in this one? We've got a 6 and an 8 and 1, 2, 3. So it's a 3, 6, 8 has to. Oops, not 9. 3, 6, 8 has to go in there. And because there's a 3 there already, the 3 has to go there. And that leaves us with a 6, 8 pair. But the 3, that gives us a 3, 2. Gets rid of that 2. And 5, 9 pair. Resolves this one. Whoops, undo. That's a 5, 9, 2. Resolves this one. 5, 9. And now that's got to be what's left in that one. 1, 2, 3. Is it a 4? Looks like. So that's a 4. That's a 6. And that resolves these 6, 8 pairs. And one lucky last number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like. In there. And resolve these 2 and we're done, I think. Yep. There we go. That wasn't too difficult, was it? At least I hope it wasn't too difficult, and I hope you enjoyed it and come back for more. Okay, bye.